We are live.
Well, good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 1st. Calling to order the City of Carson Housing Authority, Successor Agency, and City Council agenda. In accordance with Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, if you are require a disability-related modification or accommodation to attend or participate in this meeting, including auxiliary aids or services, please contact the City Clerk's office at 310-952-1720 at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. The public may address the members of the City Council on any matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council or on any items on the agenda of the City Council during the designated public comment period. Out of an abundance of caution and due to the increased Omicron variant and the flu, the City Council meetings will be held virtually via Zoom. Public viewing is available through live stream on the city's website. The meeting will be streamed live over the internet via www.carsonca.gov or on YouTube, www.youtube.com/City of Carson, California official YouTube site, or on cable Spectrum Channel 35 and AT&T Channel 99. Public comments. You may call or make comment over the phone by calling 1-669-900-6833 and enter the meeting ID code 310-233-4888 on the date of the meeting during the portion of the agenda entitled Oral Communications. There will be two oral communications, one for agendized items, that's you comment on items on the agenda, and the other will be for non-agendized items. Comments about items not on the agenda. Please refer to your agenda when speaking and during these sessions. Email public comments can be emailed to the city clerk's office at cityclerk@carsonca.gov. The cutoff time to receive any email communications is 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Written communications can be dropped off at the city clerk's office. The cutoff time to receive any written communication is 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. And to our viewing public, I'd like to let you know that on November 15th, we will be coming live. You can come back to City Hall and see our bright and shiny faces. Madam City Clerk, roll call.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Good evening. Councilwoman Rojas?
Present.
Councilman Deere?
Here.
Councilman Hicks?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Hilton?
Present.
And Mayor Davis Holmes?
Present.
Thank you.
I'd like to have a flag salute by Councilman Deere, please.
If everyone would please stand and face a flag or watch the screen. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
of the United States of America
and to the
republic for which it stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and justice
for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm honored to have my Sora here to do the invocation, Reverend Danisha K. Beaver of the New Mount Calvary Baptist Church. And again, I want to thank you publicly before you do our prayer for blessing us at the Women's Conference. It was just an awesome blessing that you shared with us. So thank you very much for all of your time that you spent with us at the Women's Conference.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for having me, and to all of the city officials and to all attending community members and vendors who may be on. Thank you so much for being here, and let us pray. Dear most gracious God, we thank you and praise you for this day. For this is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. God, we thank you that we have come at this time to do the business of the city of Carson. I thank you for each and every servant leader that is on tonight. We thank you for every household that is represented, that you would cover, that you would keep, that you would sustain, that you would give them wisdom, that you would give them insight, and that you would give them discernment about every decision that is planned for the city of Carson, every vision that will go forth, every building that will arise, everything that will be laid out will be according to your will and to your way. We thank you for the great community members of the city of Carson, people who had a mind to work, people who have a mind to serve, but people who have a desire to take care of their community and take care of the business of their city. We thank you, Lord, that for this gathering where people can come and present their ideas, present their opinions on the agenda items, oh Lord, and that they can continue to hear their voices heard by this great council and this great leadership. So bless this time on tonight. Lord, we pray that it is fruitful. We pray that everything goes over in decency and in order. But most importantly, that you would get the glory out of this meeting and out of every single plan that is laid at your feet for this great city that is a wonder that people look upon to see how to lead in other parts of the world. We give you praise and we give you glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. God bless you all. Have a great meeting.
Thank you so much. Madam City Clerk, were there any requests to speak on closed session items?
No, Madam Mayor.
None? Hearing none. Madam City Attorney, could you report out on closed session items, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A closed session will be held pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 to enable David Roberts, the city manager, as the agency's designated representative to conduct labor negotiations with AIM, CPSA affiliated with SEIU Local 721, AFSME 1017, AFSME Local 809, unrepresented employees, and unclassified, non-represented full-time management employees. A closed session will also be held pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 to enable the city to consider negotiations with John McDonald, Yukon Group, with whom the city is negotiating, and to give direction to its negotiator, David Roberts, city manager, regarding certain real property known as 23410 Catskill Avenue, APN 7329-035-900 Focio Park, and to allow and also to consider negotiations with John Sullivan American Tower Corporation, with whom the city is negotiating regarding real property known as 19101S South Wilmington, APN 7320-005-902 Anderson Park. A closed session will be also held pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D2 or D3 and E1 because there is a significant exposure to litigation in one case. That concludes my report.
Thank you. We should be back at 6:15 at the latest, hopefully. Madam City Attorney, is that about right? We'll adjourn to the closed session. A recess to closed session. Thank you very much. Has been. This is our 8th year of doing this. A lot of you have been with.
Commission next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Dr. Price.
Good evening, Mayor Lula Davis Holmes. And
Okay. Yeah, it was a very good conference. We learned a lot.
Answered all the questions, and the ladies felt really
City Manager, how you guys doing?
We're great.
Good. Have to deal with such a situation, but we always want to make sure we're as prepared as possible so that not only our staff, but the staff at our schools, as well as our children, feel as confident as possible in responding appropriately. And we do everything we can to make sure everyone stays safe. On the 9th of this month, we will be doing a blood drive at the community center. And then soon to our residents out there and some of our elderly, you will be seeing, we'll start sending out the flyers and information and advertising for our family assistance program that we do every year, where we help needy families out who can use a little help, maybe with some toys or food during the holiday season. We've been receiving quite a bit of calls about coyote sightings. And just to remind our folks out there and our residents, they are free roaming animals. They're probably more out there than you really see. Most times they're really more afraid than humans, and you are afraid of them. We just ask that you don't feed them. Don't try to be confrontational with them. If you do come in, don't try to run away. Make eye contact with them. Make yourself appear larger than you are, and most times they'll run away. Do leave some space for them to run away. Don't tighten them in the corner, because then they may become aggressive. But if you do have sightings or concerns, we ask that you call the Department of Agriculture and Wildlife. I have their number, which is 626-575-5462. Or you can also call the Department of Wildlife at 562-596-3885. And the city also, I think it's the Public Safety Office, at 310-952-1786. We're just asking that, just always remember, whether it be just for a coyote sighting or anything that's non-emergent, please work with us to make sure that we keep our non-emergent and emergent lines open for law enforcement activity and requests. But at any point you feel your personal safety is in danger for any type of circumstance, do not hesitate. Please call 911. That concludes my report for this evening. I just want to thank you all for supporting the hardworking men here at Carson Sheriff Station. Does anyone have any questions of me?
Captain, could you repeat that first number, the 626? That was for who? What
Yes,
number?
so the Department of Agriculture and Wildlife is 626-575-5462. And then you have the Department of Wildlife at 562-596-3885.
Okay.
Madam-
Yes,
Madam Mayor.
yes.
Captain Jones, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have received many calls. I know the answer, but I think you need to answer this for the people in the community. And one of the questions about coyotes is, if a coyote attacks their pet or dog, can they shoot? Can they use deadly force? So please answer for the community, please.
No, ma'am, no, sir, community member, no, you cannot, because once again, like I stated, they're a free roaming animal, and their natural habitat is to eat rabbits, eat jackrabbits, eat small flowers, little pets or rodents and things of that nature to survive. Unfortunately, not just the city of Carson, but everywhere, as we continue to grow in population and we build homes and everything, we're actually impeding on their natural habitat where they are, and that's just the natural way they feed themselves. But for more information, you can reach out to, like I said, the Department of Agriculture or Wildlife, and they'll give you any more tips or direction.
But Captain, and to our we have a coyote tracker that's on contract with the city of Carson. If they see them, I think they work out of public safety. We've had them on contract for some time now.
And that's the city number, so they want you to call that 310-952-1786 number, and then they're helping keep track that way.
Yeah, because if you see a coyote, you should call our city and let them know immediately, because a lot of people don't know that. and it's unfortunate, but I don't want to eat my doggy. So
Yeah,
call
if you do have a small pet, a cat or a dog, we just ask that, try to keep them inside. If you do let them outside, monitor them, and then, try to bring them back inside.
Call the coyote tracker.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Yeah, Captain Jones, I just wanted to share to you and the rest of the council here. Last night, I witnessed a domestic violence in progress. And, October is the Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And that's something that we all need to learn about every day. It is a priority. And when I saw this and witnessed this happening, I called 911 and your deputies showed up in less than 1 minute to this call. And so I want to thank you for everything that your deputies did and their response time, because their response time and how quickly they respond can save a life. So thank you to your station for that. Great job.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll make sure to pass on the accolades to the team. And
Yes.
then to any victims out
Thank you.
there, just know not only does the city management and the council and the mayor stand with you, but our Carson Sheriff Station is here to protect you and protect anyone who's been mistreated, whether it be physically or emotionally. We will not stand for those who pillage or take advantage or cause any type of violence on anyone, whatever form. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To Captain Jones, thank you for all that you've done with the town hall meetings. Just wanted to make sure, will someone be available for tomorrow evening's event for town hall over at Dominguez Hall, the Dominguez Park area for 6 p.m.?
Is it 6 or 7?
I mean, 7, for 7.
My staff and I, we'll look at it. This is the first time hearing about it, but I'll make sure I talk to my staff. And would CAC be the proper person to contact to coordinate, sir?
Yes.
So we'll make sure we reach out to her to make sure we coordinate.
All righty, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any more comments or questions for the captain?
Madam Mayor, not a question, just a brief comment. I'm going to meet with a small group of residents that live close to me regarding coyotes. It's going to be, it's not a town hall meeting, it's not a big meeting, but we're going to talk about the problem of coyotes in our neighborhood. And I'm going to have it at Carson Park. It's just an FYI for people to know. And then there'll be a follow-up meeting later on after the election, after November 8th.
Copy that, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is our captain, okay, our assistant chief here, Bennett?
No, ma'am.
No.
He's not here this evening.
Okay. Ooh, this agenda is really off. Okay, for all communications for matters listed on the agenda, are there any? Madam City Clerk, and I'll go back to the presentation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No, we have one caller in the waiting room. So I could let them in to see what the nature of the call is. And there were no other written communication for agenda items.
While we're doing that, I want to get the presentations out of the way then, and we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Proclamation proclaiming November 26th as Small Business on Saturday, November 26th. Kenesha Henry and Ann Brandon, are they here? Mr. City Manager, they're here.
Yes, Madam Mayor, they are here. I believe I saw Grant.
Yeah, they're owners of Image and You Ultrasound in the mall, and we want to present them this evening with the small business, recognizing Saturday, November 26th is Small Business Saturday, and the City of Carson, California celebrates our local businesses and the contribution they make to our local economy and community. And whereas, according to the United States Small Business Administration There are currently 30.2 million small businesses in the United States, and they represent 99.7% of all businesses with paid employees. And they are responsible for 65.9% of net jobs created from 2000 to 2019. And whereas small businesses employ 47.5% of the employees in the private sector in the United States, 90% of the U.S. consumers say Small Business Saturday has been a positive impact on their community. And whereas 95% of the consumers who shop on Small Business Saturday reported the day makes them want to shop or eat at small, independently owned businesses all year long, not just during the holiday season. Whereas 90% of consumers who shop on Small Business Saturday agree that shopping at small, independently owned businesses support their commitment to making purchases that have a positive social, economic, and environmental impact. And 97% of the consumers who shopped on Small Business Saturday agree that small businesses are essential to their community. Whereas the city of Carson, California supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our communities. And whereas the city of Carson is currently offering businesses in the city up to $25,000 in grants to cover the cost of such things as payroll support, rent, and lease payments, purchases related to businesses, operation or other expenses. And whereas advocacy groups and public and private organizations across the country have endorsed that Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now, therefore, the mayor and the city council of Carson, California hereby proclaim November 26, 2022 as Small Business Saturday and urge the residents of our community and communities around the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturdays. Dated today, the 26th of November, 2022. And our recipients for this Small Business Saturday is Kenesha Henry and Ann Branson of Image in You Ultrasound in the Carson South Bay Pavilion.
Hi, thank you. I think the host stopped our video, so I don't know how to get it back on.
I can hear you.
Okay, but thank you guys so much.
Kevin, can you turn the videos back on?
Working on it, MPT.
They have a nice studio.
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Hi. Oh, thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for this honor and this privilege. So we appreciate this opportunity, and we thank the council for all of your support that you give us. And I guess we just want to take a minute just to kind of introduce who we are for those of you who don't know. Okay, so Image in You Ultrasound Studio is new to the city of Carson. We've been here since March of this year, and we're located in the South Bay Pavilion, also known as the Old Carson Mall. So we offer various types of ultrasound services, imaging. We offer prenatal care for expecting moms and their family. We do the 3D, 4D ultrasounds. In addition to that, we also offer preventative screenings. So for anyone who may be interested in having ultrasounds done of their thyroid, their abdomen area, the carotids, bladder, kidneys, or anything of that nature, we do screenings for that as well. All of our ultrasounds are performed by registered diagnostic sonographers and read by board-certified radiologists. And we usually get the results back within a few days. So this is a service that we have that we're offering to the community, and we're trying to get the word out. And we appreciate this avenue to do that.
Thank you. Would you like to say something?
I said it all for but thank you guys. Thank you guys for all your support. You guys been great. We got honored with the Small Business of the Year award through the chamber. So that was great. We're also in the incubator program right now at Cal State Dominguez for the small businesses. So that is a great opportunity, and we're proud to be a part of that. So we're going to do the city well.
Okay.
City well. So we just want to thank you guys for all your support. You can spread the word. We appreciate it. We just thank you guys. We're happy to be a part of the beautiful city of Carson.
Thank you. And thank you for coming.
Most
We'll get that certificate to you if they haven't already. To my colleagues, any comments?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to hats off to Imogen U. They have a wonderful studio inside of the South Bay Pavilion. Everybody should go check it out. We all went to their grand opening, and it's amazing. It's top notch. It's top level, and they're both my neighbors, so I can brag on them. And they're doing a phenomenal job. And this is what it's all about in Carson, Future Unlimited. And they're not only Carson business owners, but they're Carson homeowners. And we celebrate them, and we want to make sure that they have great success. So hats off to you, Imogen U. You guys have a wonderful studio. And that's why we wanted you on camera, so they could just kind of see the background of your studio.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Any more comments?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I concur with the MPT. I also, with the rest of us, we were all at the ribbon cutting of a great business in the mall. It's very conveniently located. I want to emphasize it's for anyone who needs any ultrasound. It's a very professional, very comfortable atmosphere, and I think people should feel free to get any type of diagnostic ultrasound test that you need. I'm sure going to Imogen U would be a good decision.
Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Yes, hello, ladies. Nice to see you again. And I think the people need to know that you have a service, especially for expectant mothers, for the 3 and 4D. You have a perfect setup where the entire family can come and have like a gender revealing. I think that's really great, and it's a great gift to expectant mothers. So thank you. Great idea, great service, and you know, you stepped it up in the city of Carson. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Councilman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's good to see you guys again. That you guys, because they were out at the prostate cancer walk, so they've been around and they are very involved in this community. And I just wish you much success and continue doing what you do in the community. And again, welcome to the city of Carson.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, and thank you for coming out and supporting the conference. And you're just visible, so job well done. And we'll see you soon. Then we'll get if you don't have the proclamation, we'll be getting it to you, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
The next is a proclamation acknowledging November as Diabetes Awareness Month. MPT? You're on mute.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for the opportunity to present this to all of our dear friend, Dobart. He's on tonight. And we're going to give this National Diabetes Awareness Month to him. Whereas an estimated 37 million Americans have diabetes, which is 9.4% of the U.S. population, and another 96 million Americans have prediabetes and are at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And whereas an estimated 7.2 million Americans who have diabetes, which is 23.8% of the people with diabetes, do not know they have the disease, and many experience damage to the heart, eye, kidneys, and limbs without producing any symptoms. And whereas type 1 diabetes affects 5 to 10% of all adults and is characterized as an insulin deficiency occurring when the immune system attacks and destroys the insulin-producing beta cells of the pancreas. And whereas type 2 diabetes, the most common form, accounts for approximately 90% to 95% of all diagnoses cause of diabetes. It's characterizing by a rising blood glucose sugar level in the body, resulting in the body's misuse of insulin. And whereas In the last 20 years, the number of adults diagnosed with diabetes have more than doubled. The American population has aged and become more overweight and obese, and whereas the seriousness of diabetes is often underestimated because diabetes is rarely listed as a cause of death, but rather the complication caused by diabetes are instead listed. Whereas diabetes can lead to increased risk of heart attacks and stroke, kidney failure, assumptions, and advanced diabetic, greatly increasing the risk of severe vision loss, as well as nerve damage. And whereas the healthy lifestyle is important for individuals with diabetes, includes exercising, not smoking, and maintain a balanced diet and proper insulin levels. And whereas Diabetes Awareness Month is an opportunity to increase awareness, risk factors, and symptoms of diabetes, and the importance of healthy lifestyle and diabetes prevention and care. Now, therefore, the mayor and the City Council of Carson, California, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2022 as National Diabetes Awareness Month. In the City of Carson, remind our citizens of the vital importance of eating healthy and to support educational programs to help fight against developing diabetes. Dated this day, the first day of November 2022, and I'm going to present this to Dobar. When I was growing up, my great-great-great-grandmother, I didn't know the word diabetes exists. They used to call it sugar. They used to say, my sugar. So Dobar, if you're there, we want you to receive this and have a few words. Well, is Dobar on tonight? All right, if he's not here, I'm gonna do it like they do at the awards. I'm excited to accept this this proclamation and presentation from the mayor and the city council tonight on behalf of Dobar. We'll get it to him. We'll swing it past his garage tomorrow. Dobar, we'll see you.
Thank you, MPG. The next is a proclamation acknowledging November as Indigenous Peoples Month. Councilwoman.
Yes, thank you. The proclamation recognizing the month of November as Indigenous Peoples Month. And here we go. Whereas the month of November is time to celebrate rich and diverse cultures, traditions, and histories, and to acknowledge the important contribution of Indigenous people. And whereas the early inhabitants of the Great Land, the Indigenous people of North America, played a unique role in shaping our nation's history and culture. And whereas during the month of November, when we celebrate Thanksgiving, we especially celebrate their heritage and the contributions of Indigenous people of this nation. And whereas Indigenous Peoples Month is an opportune time to educate the general public about tribes, to raise a general awareness about the unique challenges Indigenous people have faced, both historically and in the present, and the ways in which tribal citizens have worked to conquer these challenges. And whereas since our nation's birth, pluralism and diversity have been hallmarks of the American experience and success. In 1782, the Founding Fathers chose as their national motto, E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. And whereas today, America's unity, derived from a mix of many diverse cultures and people, grandly embodies the vision expressed by our fathers, our founding fathers. Indigenous cultures have made remarkable contributions to our national identity. Their unique spiritual, artistic, and literary contributions, together with their vibrant customs and celebrations, enliven and enrich our land. And whereas, as we move into the 21st century, Indigenous people will play a vital role in maintaining our nation's strength and prosperity. Almost half of America's Indigenous tribal leaders have served in the United States Armed Forces, following in their footsteps of their forebears who distinguished themselves during the World Wars and the conflicts in Korea, Vietnam, and the Persian Gulf. And whereas their patriotism again appeared after the September 11 attacks, as Indigenous law enforcement officers volunteered to serve in an air marshal program. On the local level, Indigenous people are strengthening their communities through education and business development, opening the doors to opportunity and contributing to a brighter future for all. And whereas during Indigenous Peoples Month, we call on the community to learn about the history and heritage of the Indigenous people of this great land. Such actions reaffirm our appreciation and respect for the tradition and way of life and can help to preserve an important part of our culture to generations yet to come. Now, therefore, the Mayor and the City Council of Carson, California, hereby proclaim the month of November as Indigenous Peoples Month and call upon our citizens to observe this month with appropriate programs and activities. It's dated this November 1st, 2022. And happy to introduce our recipient for the Indigenous Peoples Month. This recipient is a lifelong resident of the city of Carson. He is the chairman of the Environmental Commission, former vice chairman of the Planning Commission, currently serving on the AB 617 Community Steering Committee as a representative of the city of Carson. He's the current president of the Progressive Democratic Club, chairman of Carson Alliance for Truth, the vice chairman of the Sierra Club, Palos Verdes South Bay Executive Committee. He went to Caradell Elementary School, the California Academy of Math and Science, as we all know as CAMS, and the University of Santa Cruz. He is from the Lipan Apache through his father, who originally was from the southern Texas. The Lipan Apache is 8,000 strong. His mother is from the Métis National Council, which is a mixed Indigenous and European group. That's through his mother, who are originally from Nebraska. He does still go to local powwows with his family, which is celebrated annually in the springtime. So this year's recipient is Joseph Louis Pignon. And Kevin, is he on?
Woman, I don't see him.
Okay, because I think he was supposed to come on. He did say that he was going to be at El Dia de los Muertos church. If he was, let me see what time it is. I think that started at 6. So I'm going to do what MPT just did. And since we don't see him, there we go. Yes. On behalf of the Lipan Apache tribe and the Métis National Council tribe, I will accept this award for Joseph Louis Pignon, and congratulations, and we will get this to him in a timely manner. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next proclamation is a proclamation acknowledging November as National Prematurity Awareness Month. Councilman Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is especially close to home because my own youngest daughter was premature. She was born 2 pounds, 2 ounces. So the technology and the information that has been garnered through the establishment of learning how to address premature babies has helped this family, mine as a whole. And I think our Mayor Pro Tem has also had help in the premature diagnosis and being able to have our kids prosper and thrive because of the new technology. With that being said, whereas the City of Carson recognizes and honored the month of November as Prematurity Awareness Month, on this occasion, it is appropriate to raise awareness by recognizing the prevalence of premature births and the impact it has on our community around the world. Whereas about 15 million babies around the world are born premature each year, and more than 1 million of them do not survive the early birth. Whereas premature birth is a leading cause. Oh,
18.
That was on number 18.
Yeah,
18, Madam Mayor.
it's number 18.
Can I get some clarification on that one, Madam Mayor?
Yes, please. Where's my phone?
Just wanted to get some clarification for those at home and for the employees that there, again, I think I talked about it at the last meeting, that it was a 2% that was given out. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows it was not me that said 2% for a raise for our employees. Was that something that was the city manager? Can you please explain on that for me?
I'd be happy to do so. Just want to confirm, Madam City Attorney, is that okay to discuss at this time?
So I think this issue was discussed previously. Let me see if I can state what Councilman Hicks wants to do without violating closed session discussions. I think what Councilman Hicks is trying to clarify is that, for the record, there was an original recommendation that had come from the city manager. Somehow there has been rumors that have attributed that original recommendation to Councilman Hicks and the mayor. And I think Councilman Hicks is trying to restate for the record that the original recommendations had come from the city manager and not him or the mayor. Did I capture that?
Perfect.
Yes, I think it was muddled the last time.
Thank you. Yes, now it's Crystal.
The next order of the day is item number 24. Special order of the day. It's a public hearing to consider approval of mitigated negative declaration of mitigation monitoring reporting program, general plan amendment number 109-20, specific plan number 23-20, and zone change number 184-21 for a 19-unit multiple family residential development project on 2 vacant parcels totaling 0.52 acres located at 21240 to 21250 Main Street, APMS 7334-002-007 and 7334-002-008. Madam City Clerk, was a notice properly posted?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we do have proof of the timely publication in our office, and the notice to the applicant was sent via email, and that's confirmed by staff. The posting requirements were met by the individual and the organization. The posting affidavits are on file in our office, and we did not receive any written communications for this item.
Okay, staff, would you like to make a presentation, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have our Community Development Director, Mr. Saeed Masay, who will provide that updated report.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. I've shared my screen. Everybody can see that?
Yes.
Thank you. The Planning Commission approved the site plan and design review for development of 19 apartments on September 27th, 2022. At the same night, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the general plan amendment from general commercial to urban residential, and zone change from commercial general to specific plan, and also the adoption of recommended adoption of the specific plan to the City Council. So those are the items that Council is considering tonight, and the approval of the design site plan and design review is contingent upon City Council's approval of the general plan amendment, the zone change, and the specific plan. The project is proposed on a half-acre vacant lot. There are 2 buildings. They're each 3 stories. The density of the project is 37 units per acre. There are 19 multifamily rental units proposed. 18 of them are 2-bedroom, and there's one unit that is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath. The 2-bedroom units have 2 baths as well. The size range for the units is between 944 to 2061, and 2061 being the 4-bedroom unit. There are 42 parking spaces proposed. This is a vacant site at the corner of Main and 213th. The previous uses include gas station, real estate office, grocery store, beer bar, and a church. The site has been vacant since 1987. Aerial view of the site. The surrounding land uses are mostly single-family dwellings, with the exception to the north. There are some commercial uses, an auto repair shop to be exact. This is rendering shows the project from the corner, 213th. The one on the left that is the corner shot from 213th and Main Street. And the other one to the right is from the opposite side, from the north side of the building. Landscaping is proposed for the perimeter of the site. The parking is on the ground floor, and the buildings are above. With the exception of a couple of units, one for each lot that have ground floor residential units. And those ground floor residential units are in light gray. The dark gray is the multi-story building footprint. In the middle, you see the main driveway between the 2 buildings. And there's another driveway on 213th that provides access to the parking spaces below the building. These are the elevations for the 2 buildings. The one at the bottom is the view from Main Street. And the empty space between the 2 buildings is a driveway I talked about. Between the 2 buildings, provides access to Main Street. And these are the other elevations of the site. The top 2 are the views from 213th. More specifically, it's really, you can only see the north elevation to the right from 213th. That concludes staff's report. We're available for any questions. The applicant's representative are here tonight, as well as the city's secret consultant from DUDEC.
Okay. Council members, do you have any questions you want to ask the staff? It's just a question, not a debate.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Councilman.
I did have some questions regarding, I know there have been some discussion with some of the residents in the area. Were the residents contacted at any given time about this project?
Yes, it's my understanding that the developer has reached out to the residents. They can provide the details to the council.
When we open the public hearing. That would be, okay. Any more questions from my colleagues?
Yes. To the staff, this outreach to the neighborhood, was it the standard 500 feet that the planning department typically mails out?
Usually that's the case, yes. And again, the developer can elaborate on that. For the public hearing, you are correct, Councilmember Deere, that we did have a 750 foot radius.
Okay, because it needs to be much greater, because the impact of a 3-story building in this location is going to be pretty severe to the single family homes east, south, and west across Main Street to this site. As you know, if you go back to the picture of the site, the vacant lot, I'd like to point something out. Yeah, that site right there. if you notice that the home immediately east, the two homes immediately east, you're looking at the roof line of those homes, which is at grade of this particular development. You would think that the developer would have underground parking in order to not have such a tall building. Because if you build a 3-story building on this lot, essentially it will be 4 stories higher than the single family homes directly adjacent within a few feet away and the entire neighborhood west of there. So I know we're open a public hearing, we can ask the developer those questions. But I'm very surprised that the staff, and I'm surprised that the Planning Commission approved such a monstrous development adjacent to people's single family homes. It's a rental unit, not even a for sale product, meaning that there's a potential for Section 8 housing in that apartment building with 19 apartments. That's going to overwhelm this neighborhood. So we aren't in the debate part of it, we're in the questioning part of it. But that is a question on why that took place. We'll go into it during the public hearing, I'm sure. But I do know that the consideration of a 3-story building when the ground is already almost an entire story higher than the adjacent property essentially makes it a 4-story building in relation to the single family homes immediately adjacent to the property. So during this time of COVID and the pandemic that we're still in, I doubt whether there was much public input. If we had live meetings, it probably would be a lot more. So could you give us a report, Saeed, on how many members of the public spoke, what they had to say? Could you put that in your report to us today before the public hearing opens?
Yeah, we usually require the developer to go meet with the neighbors. It's a meeting by the developer, and city staff is there to kind of observe if there are any questions, provide answers. Unfortunately, the staff member that worked on this project is no longer with the city, so I would ask that the developer provide the details of the meeting, how many people they met with, and provided comments to the developer.
So you're telling the council members that there was a public meeting in person, is that correct? In-person meeting or Zoom meeting?
I'm not sure. I wasn't there, and that's why I'm asking the developer to provide
When we open the public hearing, he can answer those.
provide input. All I know is that a 750-foot notice was provided to all the residents for that meeting, for the community meeting.
Yeah, I would think a notice of 1,000 feet or 1,500 would have been more appropriate for something like this, because Main Street itself is probably maybe 200 feet wide, like that.
Let's open the public hearing because this is just questions, and I want to open up the public hearing so we can have an open dialogue.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to open the public hearing, and then the applicant, you're here.
Yes, ma'am, I am. Thank you. My name is David Blumenthal. I'm with Sagecrest Planning. I'm representing the property owner for this project. Overall, I want to say thank you to the city's planning staff for getting us through to this point. We are proposing 19 units on the half-acre site. We're excited to have the site developed. We understand it's been vacant since the mid '80s, so we think this will be an overall improvement to the community. We do agree with all the staff's conditions on the project, and so let me just touch upon a little bit on the community outreach that we did do. We started off early in the project in August 2021. We notified 16 of the immediately adjacent neighbors via a mailer, and this included all the properties that are adjacent to or directly across the street from both Main Street and 213th Street from the project. This was followed on September 11th, 2021, where we did a door-to-door canvassing of those same neighbors. We spoke to many of the neighbors there. The neighbors immediately adjacent to the project on 213th Street were in favor of the project. They liked the idea of getting rid of the site. Additionally, the neighbors across the street from 213th Street were also very much in favor of the site being improved with our property. When we did door-to-door, we did provide them with the colored elevations that you saw, so they were aware of what the project would entail. Going across Main Street, we spoke to one neighbor across there, and he was in favor of the project. And then two of the other buildings or two of the other residences had do not disturb signs up on them, so we did not disturb those neighbors. We did not knock on those doors. As we progressed through the project, then we did do a online Zoom meeting. This was direct mailed from us to every property owner and resident occupant of within 750 feet of the site. We invited them due to COVID, and at the time the Omicron variant was rising up, so we did do via Zoom. We had one neighbor attend that Zoom meeting. He was two doors down from us on 213th Street, and we did speak to him during our initial canvassing. During that time, he also said he was still in favor of the project and was happy that it was coming in to improve the site. So that's kind of the outreach we did. We got pretty good positive feedback and felt that the neighbors are all aware of the site and they're happy to see that. With that, that will conclude my discussion. I'm also here if you have additional questions on this.
Madam Mayor, are we ready for questions to the developer? Hello? Hello?
Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comment before we go into a rebuttal?
Madam Mayor, there's no one currently waiting in the queue.
Okay, Councilman Deere.
Thank you. Mr. Blumenthal, you're telling me that every neighbor you had contact with was in favor of a 3-story apartment building on that lot, or are they in favor of the lot being improved? There's a difference.
Yes, sir. They were expressed in favor of our project. There were some items we did discuss. The neighbor immediately adjacent to us, you'll see his palm trees there. Those do encroach onto this property. We did agree that we would work our property line wall to protect those palm trees in place at his request. We did talk to one neighbor that their only concern was existing parking problems in the neighborhood. But again, we're parking the site fairly well, so we don't think we'll contribute at all to any additional parking problems in the neighborhood. And everybody else we spoke to was in favor of that project.
Yeah, the neighborhood does have severe parking issues now. And putting a 19 unit building, apartment building, which we know from experience, produces more than 19 automobiles. And I know you say you're parking it on the site with at grade parking. The parking will be not visible from the public street, or will be visible? The parking, the parking sounds like a not garages, but it sounds like a carport type arrangement. Is that what you have, like open parking?
It's an open parking with the building above it.
Yes.
We found in our experience this kind of avoids the filling up a garage with storage and parking out on the street. The parking will be used as parking this way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about Section 8 housing? Would that be allowed in this building?
We're not proposing any affordable units or any affordable at this time.
Okay. The owner of the property, are they going to remain the owner of the building, or are they planning to sell the building once it's developed?
She's remaining the owner.
Okay. That's her plan at this point.
Yes.
Okay. So you said the resident immediately east on 213th wanted to preserve the palm trees, and that makes sense, and you could probably incorporate that into your landscaping plan. I'm sure your architect could do that. What about the next house over, the corner house? How was their view of it?
He actually was in favor. He was the one attendance to our Zoom meeting. So we've spoke to him multiple times now, and he was in favor of the project.
It's very interesting you say that, and I'm not questioning your experience with the neighbors, but I must have talked to different neighbors, because the neighbors I've talked with would not be in favor of a 3-story apartment building, because it's essentially going to be 4 stories higher than the houses right next door. In other words, the sun is going to set much earlier in the day for those homes. That's just the nature of the geography and the nature of the structure that's going to be built. What about the management of the apartment building? The owner of this building, do they have other apartment buildings that they manage?
The owner is on the meeting with us right now. She'll be able to answer that directly.
Okay, that would be good. Maybe we could speak with the owner and then come back to you if that's possible.
Yes, sir.
Is the owner here?
It'll be Nancy.
Nancy. Nancy.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I do have other investment properties. Is that your question? Yes.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Ms. Kim.
Hi.
I'm Councilman Jim Deere. I'm the council member that lives closer than any other council member or elected official in Carson to this site. And I know your neighbors quite well, the neighbors of your property quite well. So when I spoke with the neighbors, they told me they didn't like the idea because of the essentially grade separation. Is you're going to have a 4-story building in essence next to their homes. So you say you have other investment sites. Do you have other rental apartment buildings?
Yes, I have other rental properties. Yes.
Okay. Would you be willing to give us the addresses of those buildings so we can see the condition of the buildings, and are you planning to have your own management company, or are you hiring a management company contractor with them to manage it for you?
I will have a professional management company. It's a large size, so I want it professionally managed.
That's good. What about the company? Do you already contract with them with your other investment properties?
No, not with this, but it will be a local professional management company that handles a lot of properties. I'm familiar with the area, and want someone that specializes in Carson and nearby cities that really know the market. So.
All right, that makes sense. Why are you interested in a rental property as opposed to a for sale product?
Because I'd like to be involved in the community and for a long term. I don't want it to be a quick, something that I just work on for a few years and turn around. I've been working on this project for, it's been almost 3 years. It was right before the pandemic. And as you know, with the pandemic, things have been really slow, and
that's for sure, yes.
Yeah, so we've been patiently working through the process, and we're excited to get the development and construction started. So no, I have no interest in selling it. It's just something that I'd like to be involved with for a long time.
I see. Do you own other property within the Carson city limits?
Not in Carson, but nearby.
I see. And did you consider half grade or a full grade below for parking instead of at level parking? Did you consider that?
My architect, Art Ashai, is on the call or on the Zoom. He could probably speak a little more better than I can about this. Art, are you?
Sure. If you don't mind, maybe we could the IT can switch to the architect.
I'm here.
Okay, Art.
Yeah, hi, good evening, Councilman. The reason we did not consider underground, one, it's extremely expensive to go underground. Exporting dirt is very, very expensive. Building retaining walls, very, very expensive. So in order to minimize the effect, what we ended up doing, which you may not notice very easily from the plans, on the east side, we're required to have a 10-foot setback. But in reality, the buildings have a setback of 20 to 24 feet. So to minimize the effect on any of the neighbors on that side. In addition, we have a completely, if you look at the landscape plan, it's highly densely landscaped, 10 feet of landscape strip between us and the east side. You know, doing all those things, we thought we accommodated or minimize any impact on the neighbors and minimize the cost for the owner. Instead of, you know, just building an underground basement could add another $2 to $3 million and make it a non-feasible project.
I see. So your landscaping, is it going to be lush green landscaping, or is it going to be like, what's the word for it? Not ocean friendly, but you know, environmentally friendly with drought resistant.
Yeah, it's not drought resistant, it's lush green. That's the way it's designed.
It'll be drought resistant plants and so forth?
No, it would be tall hedges. I can look at the landscape plan. There's a plant palette with it.
Okay, let's take a look at that. I'm sure my colleagues would like to see that.
Has it on the, I think if you went further down on the slides, there was probably a landscape palette in it.
I don't think I have this landscape palette. I just have the landscape plan.
But it has large trees and hedges on that side. Continuous row.
Okay, well, I'm looking at the plan now. Let me put on my reading glasses. Where are the large trees? I see on the east, it looks like the east side between Lot B and a residential property. You have 3 large trees. Is that what you're talking about?
3 large trees, and then there's a tall hedge, which is at least going to be 8 to 10 feet tall. The little circle that you see is a continuous hedge.
Because as you know, I'm sure you've been to the site many times, there's a pretty drastic drop-off from Lot B as well as Lot A to the property that's labeled SFR, Single Family Residential. So the trees are going to be, I guess, away from the embankment. You're going to put a retaining wall in there, I assume?
We do have to put a retaining wall, true.
Yeah, you would have to, I would think. And then what about along Main Street? Is that a lawn, or, I mean, I don't have a...
It is a landscape strip with, again, lush
planting. And how wide is that strip?
I believe it's 5 or 8 feet. I'm not 100% sure.
And then 5 or 8 feet, and then a building then is erected at that point?
Building is erected at that point.
So 5 or 8 feet from the sidewalk?
From the back of the sidewalk.
Well, yeah, the public right of way, the sidewalk. Okay, and then I see you have a hedge on the north side, it looks like.
There is a hedge on the north side, and we have a 10-foot setback on the north side too.
Yeah, and then you have a commercial building at the auto repair, if I believe. Yeah, and then on the corner itself, could you describe that landscaping? It looks like maybe
there is
less than 5 feet at a certain point.
One tree and some hedges there. It varies because that staircase is at an angle. So it creates like little pockets which are deeper than 5 to 7 feet.
I see. And then the other green circles are city trees that you would plant and you would maintain, right? Or you might maintain them with some water. I see. Okay. And then the last question I have, until the other colleagues might have questions, if I could go back to Ms. Kim.
Yes. Yes.
And thank you, Mr. Ashai.
Yes.
Yeah, hi. Okay, so you say you're planning to own this building for the foreseeable future. I mean, that's
for a
your plan
long time. I have no plans on selling it. I would like to hold on to it for a long, long, long time.
Okay. So, you know, what's important is your commitment and your dedication to Carson, because any apartment building can go down the toilet if it's not managed properly and not maintained by the ownership. So I understand you have a certain amount of money that you're going to invest in building this.
Albertson gift cards, $20 gift cards. Go buy your small pen.
That's gonna get us a chicken in this economy. That's
A little chicken.
a little chicken.
Oh, okay. So that's it for me. Without any further comment, I want to thank the staff and everyone for this nice, brief, short meeting. And we'll see you on the 15th. Everyone will be back in council chambers. Yes.
Oh, one quick question. Could everybody come in purple?
Finally.
Have on some form of purple on that day on the 15th in solidarity for premature month.
Purple.
Purple.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. See you in council chambers. Staff, are you ready to go? You got us all hooked up and ready to go? Don't have us coming in if something's not working. Now I'll faint.
As of right now, the lights are working, so we're good, Madam Mayor.
We're good. The sound system and everything is good to go.
Yes, ma'am.
Do a dry run just in case. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night, everyone.